the Prison City Podcast. When the bars go up, you're officially locked in.
Welcome to the Prison City Podcast. I am your unofficial host, Patrick Cutler, and we got a very good show for you here today. This is my first sober show of the season so far, so I'm happy to say that it might not be the same show, so this will be pretty interesting. We got a lot to talk about here today, but mainly we're going to focus on what happened to J March in the last episode. Folks, let's just say we had quite a bit of drinking going on in that show. We all talking about dating in 2021, but J March, you want to recap last week's show for us really quick?
Yeah, I think Elvis just went to Mars. He never actually died. That and stools are really hard to sit on after a bottle and a half of vodka. So, good times.
Yeah. And Mahoney, what did you think of last week's show?
Honestly, I thought it was a pretty casual little Thursday evening that we all had for ourselves. I think everyone kept it, right in between the lines. And so I'm excited to be back here and talk about dating since I haven't been in the dating scene in almost 15 years. I should probably have a lot of pretty good advice for everyone out there.
I'm going to go to Kelly. You're currently in Miami right now?
Yeah, I'm currently in Miami, and I appreciate J Marsh, your haircut or whatever the fuck you're doing with your hair there. You look like every Guido down here, so you fit right in. I feel like we're still in Miami on this podcast.
So we're going to start off this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Respond to that.
Thank you for noticing my haircut because no one mentioned it last week. Thank you.
I'm only 3,000 miles away. You look good, man.
Honestly, you look great. I'm sorry I didn't say anything last show. I was kind of not. I wasn't like I was physically here, but mentally my mind was elsewhere.
So yeah. So starting out, I think the person who's been out there dating the most lately is J Marsh. What do you think about dating in 2021?
Like, it's the exact same as it was in 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017. Like, nothing's changed. Like,
So, I mean,
So it's really different then?
Yes, extremely. You would never guess, but the same ways that worked in 2017 work in 2021.
Do you have any, like, post-COVID pickup lines,
I'm not a pickup line guy. I have to do, like, the 2-date thing. First date, nothing happens. Second date gets laid. It's like I got to set my own tee up so I can hit the ball.
Yes, I was curious myself. I've been out of the dating game for quite a while here since I was just recently divorced. I've been, in a relationship for 12, 13 years. Not sure how long it was. I lost count. And I'm getting back to it. I just want to know, do I grab her boobs on the first date or before the first date happens?
In modern culture, I would not recommend it. But, we're in small town Deer Lodge. You go for it. Chances are that you're getting to home plate after that.
Good.
And so for anyone listening in Deer Lodge, I wouldn't say like really go for that advice. Like don't do that and say, well, I heard it on the Prison City podcast.
Yeah.
In Deer Lodge, I could just grab tips. Like that's not a thing that we do.
It's a thing that Pat does, not us.
Well, I disagree. Try going to the Montana about midnight and see how that works out.
So I just want to say, try being on a Miami beach with all these models wearing thongs. Well, you just got married 2 weeks ago, and your wife's right there. Now that's self-control, motherfucker.
You set yourself up for the most tempting possible environment on honeymoon.
I was just like this. Took my glasses down so everything's blurry. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or you're like, hey, hun, we should hit the strip club. I hear they have great steaks down here.
Meat steaks. Meat steaks.
Now let's rewind the clock back here. Mahoney, why don't you describe to us the very first date of your life, how it went?
The very first date of my life. Wow. You're right. We are winding it back. Like
So the year was 1999.
Are we
Toy Story 1 just came out. It was huge.
Are we counting? Let's just count high school. That feels like the first time I'll like. I don't think going out to a dance with someone in junior high. So I'll say high school. High school went out to a movie in Butte.
School, can I have it?
Sorry, the audience is reckless tonight. Yes. So yes, please, can you stop for 10 seconds? Sorry. This is what happens when you're live.
Oh shit.
That's what happens when you stop dating, folks. You have data.
Yeah. Okay. Go. So anyway, my first date, went to a movie in Butte, got laid, and now I have my daughter. No, that's not how it happened. Went to a movie in Butte, came home, and then was like, all right, so what do we do? Do we kiss here? You kind of have that whole awkward, like, are we holding hands? This is obviously in high school. So it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? So I went for the kiss, terrible kiss. But other than that, it was a really lovely movie.
Yeah. So, J Marsh, what about your first date? We'll go high school unless it didn't happen until yesterday. No, just kidding.
Last Thursday, it was you, Pat. Didn't you not know? I'm gonna count junior high because I got titty at a dance. I'm just gonna count it. So I'm just like a bullshit dance. Yeah, I got some titty outside afterwards. I'm counting that as a date.
Some titty. Is there any titties in junior high?
Oh, dude, we had one girl that developed early. Like,
Yeah.
She was doing stranger things with other people that I was not prepared for when I was like 13.
What about you, Kelly?
Well, I can't remember my first official date, but when you first asked that question of Mahoney, the first thing that jumped to my mind was was with a friend and we got with these two girls and we were on the junior high, or actually the grade school playground. I was in junior high and we were playing spin the bottle. That's the first thing that jumped to my mind. And we got to kiss. It was all fucking awkward and shit like that. But anyways, that was my first girlfriend. I dated for like 9 months after that. So that was my first dating experience. I think kids still play spin the bottle. According to my teenage bride, she says they just played that before she met me.
Yeah.
Who is the lucky gal? You can just say a name that rhymes with hers to protect the
innocent.
Oh, it was Pashel the Jew.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, and the weirdest part of that story, or it's not even part of that story, but she was my first heartbreak too, and we didn't. Literally, was heartbroken for like 2 years after that. It was so ridiculous. Got over it, got all the heartbreaks out of the way for the rest of my life, hopefully. And then she, with my current wife, she was our neighbor, literally our neighbor in Deer Lodge for like 2 years. It's just like, and there's no obviously feelings or anything like that, but it's just strange how that happens. Like, we're gonna get married. I'm in 8th grade. I spent all my money on phone cards when I went to Hawaii so I could call her.
Oh,
and then she was our neighbor, and it's just like, oh, this is real. And she's got her husband and 2 kids and shit. And it's like, this is fucking weird how life does that,
And then every now and then you guys would like be taking the garbage out at the same time and just kind of, there'd be a spark just for a second. It was unspoken, but it was there.
And then she'd turn around and it was her long-haired husband. I was like, oh, fuck, sorry.
Oh, fuck. God. Fun times we're having here tonight.
Dating when you were younger.
I don't know where tonight's going. Can we bring Stuart Jewell back on? That guy could go forever.
Especially in high school, or if you're J Marsh and you're just like way too advanced sexual stuff in junior high. Every time I was on a date, because most of the time, none of my relationship lasted super long until my wife, and I was always just like, never myself, just nervous as shit. Like, what should I do? What should I say? Like, would it be funny if I made this joke, or is that? So it's never I think anytime you're on a date, even your first couple dates, you're not really yourself until you get like more adult and comfortable, or as an adult you can drink and those nerves tend to go away a little bit. Probably been a lot cooler on my dates in high school had I been like half shit faced.
I have one rule in dating. I stick to that rule today. Never date someone you haven't got drunk with and fucked before, because you don't know what you're getting. Right, Jay Marsh?
I don't want to hear about his fucking stories because his background is San Francisco, so I don't want to hear about
God. See, I thought about taking this route when he posted this in a little group. I'm like, shit, should I go the full virgin route or should I just be gay? Like, I thought about like just picking a path and just going hard.
Hey, you're the expert tonight, apparently, so you do whatever you want, man.
This is your show. We're finally talking about something that's like directly involving you.
Solely me. No, I was trying to find someone else that I know Patrick has had an acquaintance with and try to get screenshots of Pat's like previous Snapchats and shit.
Oh shit!
And it's not working, but I was trying really hard.
Yeah. So what's the move right now? I guess you two can tell us. Like, and Kelly, you're not that far removed from the dating scene. So like with the apps, right? That's the one thing, because I've been so far gone.
I could,
part of me is kind of like, man, these apps, that would be awesome. But also part of me is like, man, maybe it's not that fucking awesome. I don't know. I've never.
So here, I can break this down for you, because in the fall I just went fucking nuts on the apps. I tried every single one just to see how they all fucking worked and what they did. And
Patrick, which ones did you use? Just out the list.
Here. Well, let me put the list. So I want everything from the like softcore Christian mingles dating apps to all the
only
to adult friend finder where I almost fucked somebody on. I'm not even joking. I went to the dark web ones too.
You really feel like you dipped your toe in everything.
Well, dude, I had a friend too, speaking of apps, that was just telling me right before I met my wife now, I had a friend that was telling me about Plenty of Fish and all these sites, apps, everything. He just told me these stories about like, yeah, this so-and-so came down from Billings, and these explicit XXX stories. And I was just like, geez. I don't know if I could personally do that on a first, just look at someone. Then okay, now we're 69.
So I'm gonna be if you're living in a rural area like Montana, my first tip for guys on these dating apps is my number one tip. If you're in a rural area in Montana, I do not give a fuck what the dating app is. Just be ready to lower your standards to pretty much nothing. That's my first. Because any slightly good-looking girl on these apps, there's like a 0.2% chance they'll ever like actually match with you. It's like really fucking hard in Montana, really fucking hard. But I mean, if you just want to have sex with whatever, just throw something in your bedroom and fuck it up. Sure, go for it.
Yeah, anybody could do that.
Yeah,
if you don't have standards.
If you have
is it weird like being back where you grew up and you see people on there? Are you like a little hesitant?
Yeah, it's
a family of 5 right now.
I maybe like
plus their 3.
Yeah, if I ever know anybody, I always just like swipe left immediately. I don't care what they look like or anything. And then another weird thing is like you go through all these different apps, and you almost have like that same person that matched you that you have no interest in. They match you in every single fucking app. They keep matching you. Like nope. Almost like this.
So Pat, those of us that haven't been on Tinder and shit in quite a few years, swiping left means no. Is that right?
Yeah, swiping left means no. Swiping right means yes. You want to match or talk or whatever. The other thing, other thing I want to cover here is the apps, and this is because I go deep on fucking everything, so I get obsessed about things. The apps are fucking so slanted towards the left of the females. They're so slanted. Like the guys interact way more. The apps are super like they're the guy that did experiment on fucking Tinder. And he was living in more of a city area where he was like a guy could not get any really good matches or anything like that. So then he did the opposite thing. He pretended to be a female. And he said within hours his fucking phone was like exploding with matches. He was like, it's insane the difference. So what I did is I started to try to find apps that had much more of a female user base to it, going by these statistics and everything I Googled online. And then I found some decent matches, but the conversation never really lasted that long because within 24 hours they were demanding to know every single detail of my divorce.
That's funny.
How
So, like,
did you open? Do you have like an opening line?
So I studied opening lines. Sometimes I just go super radical. Other times I'm just like, so I'll be like, hey, we match. You want to fuck? I'm like fucking ruthless.
I was just gonna ask what's the craziest thing you said. And I think you kind of set the bar pretty high.
Hey, Mahoney, I have one Tinder story that's kind of funny. I won't say who it was, but it's someone we all know, and no interest in dating or no physical interest in them whatsoever. But I swiped right just for fun, and then it goes, "You're a match." And what's the like 5 stars? Like you're a super match or something?
Yeah, there's you just have to buy the super matches though.
Okay, so I was a super match or whatever the biggest thing was. I was like, oh, well, that's fucking weird. And then kind of laughed about it. And then like 2 minutes later, I got a text. What's up, honey buns? And I was kind of playing it as a joke. And then it started to get kind of serious after about 5 minutes of texting. And I was like, no, this is not. This was literally just a fucking joke on Tinder. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings.
And that's how you broke it to that poor person. Like, honestly, this was always going to be at your expense. I'm sorry if I got you excited.
Yeah, and now she works at Prison Pizza. No, I'm not going there. That's a joke.
It always just ends up there. No, but if you're a guy in like a rural area like Montana, like the apps are almost completely fucking worthless. You're unlikely to find anything very legit unless you just the other part is they con you out of so much fucking money. If you want to do anything on these things, you have to pay some kind of money. I mean, even Tinder.
Wait, you pay money? They're free.
Not the ones I play on. Tinder's what's I'll go on Tinder right now. I'll go live on Tinder. I'll tell you exactly what to pay for. Tinder's like 50% of Tinder works if you don't pay. Only like 50%. In Montana,
it's almost like Facebook or anything, right, Pat? You pay for the ads, more people are going to see whatever you're trying to put out there. Of course, if you're paying $5 versus $0, you're going to have better luck on anything, not just let's hook up apps.
But I'll say there's a lot where there's a lot of them where it's like you have all these matches, but you cannot see your match unless you pay a certain fee or whatever for that month. So what will happen is your subscription will end and you'll have all these shitty matches and then you have no matches. Then magically the second your subscription ends, they're like, oh, you have 5 new matches. Pay us $20 to see them. Like that's how they all fucking work to some degree. All of them fucking work like that. Tinder is the best one. Tinder you can make the most progress with the free stuff, but it's still limited.
Well, I think it also depends where you're at because I was actually back east in the past year. And you have Hinge is where it's at. You can't get Tinder's just bots. I know because you guys are going to go back east and try to hook up with women, where the Hinge is clearly the one to go with.
I've heard a lot about them.
What is Hinge?
What are we doing with this podcast?
What is Hinge? I'm going to sound like a 75-year-old man.
Maybe.
Is it like Grindr?
Is that where you kids meet behind the alley?
Tinder, if you don't pay, you only have a certain amount of likes per day. You only get to see a certain amount of people that like you. So Tinder's still not like fucking totally free at all. It's still pretty limited. Here you go. It says stop. I'm not gonna talk about that in the show. Let me go back see.
No,
Since you
we need
reaction.
we need to talk about what you said stop for.
So while he's looking that up, Hinge is essentially Tinder, but
it's
better?
a little
Is
more.
that the thing?
Yeah, it's a little more authentic, I guess. Not as many bots.
Holy fuck! I got a match.
You got a match? Good for you. Round of applause. Pack out a match.
She lives in she lives in Kalispell, single mom, pretty laid back. God, she looks like she wants to fuck me right now.
Well, we better start rounding the horses then.
Sounds Sounds like Pat's got a road trip up to Kalispell.
It's like, oh, this is a maybe actually. Should I send her a message right now on the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's what this show's all about. Wow.
I think our audience would like you to do that.
All right,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna see what's up. Hey, what's up,
Wouldn't
girl?
Wouldn't it be hilarious if like he ends up marrying this girl from the
Just show her this podcast. This is when we met. This is when we first started talking.
Oh.
Anyways, while Pat's doing that, one comment about the apps and stuff. I'm married to a 23-year-old right now, so we live in vastly different universes. She's on Instagram and everything, and I don't understand half the shit that she does. But I think the reason that we met, which was lucky, was what Mahoney or someone touched on at the beginning of the show. It was through alcohol, and I'm not trying to condone alcohol, but that made things so easy that we saw each other at a bar, and obviously we had a couple drinks, and it was just easy to talk. Outside of that, I think it's getting harder and harder and harder for anybody to meet anybody. Yeah, you can meet them on Tinder and stuff and go hook up, but to have a significant relationship, I feel like it's getting harder because we're also glued and addicted to our phones, especially the younger generation. It's like, how do you even fucking approach them? Or how do they approach you?
I'm gonna tell you right now, the biggest problem I've found is the expectations are just so fucking out of control, out of this world. I mean, and social media has put that on steroids. That's one of the biggest problems. It's someone's expectations of the perfect guy or whatever. It probably goes both ways. It's just impossible to meet the expectations that modern society kind of has put on people.
That's because most people on their social media platforms are showing the perfect version of themselves. We've talked about that a lot on this podcast. They're showing only pictures where they look good, only videos where they look good, only things that make them raise their status in society. So yeah, I'm not surprised the expectations are through the fucking roof.
Talking about that, a lot of problem with these Tinder profile pictures and stuff is they do those fucking fake filters, so you don't even know what they fucking look like. They could be like the hottest girl alive with their filter on, and then you meet up and they're like the guy that some fat ass that works at the trash compactors place. Sorry. That sounds so bad.
The dump.
There it is.
Yeah, there's the one.
Yep. Landed on it. We finally got there.
The trash compactors.
I would argue that there's been never a worse time in history to date. Especially like if you look back last year, do you guys remember the commercials they were airing with like Match.com where you could like, hey, we can't meet up in person, but let's have a Zoom date. Can you imagine having a first date on Zoom? What kind of fucking nightmare that would be?
Holy shit. I would never do a date on Zoom. That would be, damn it.
I mean, like Jamar should just have everyone convinced he lived in San Francisco the whole time, or worked for NASA or whatever that whatever background he's got going on.
I live in outer space. You couldn't tell? I was just floating away.
Well, J-Marsh, you're clearly the youngest out of all of us by far, and you're single. So, I mean, what is it like? Do you even try out there? Give us your perspective, because yours got to be drastically different from.
Do you even try, or does it just come flocking to you?
Yeah, my beautiful eyes, they just come flocking towards me. No, it's I don't know. It's really weird. It's like, because I don't do relationships. Maybe like 3-4 weeks max if I do anything.
Oh, real Romeo, huh?
Oh, absolutely. That thing, I got like one rule, like never jizz where you eat. So I don't fuck in Powell County. All my shit's exported. Like I'm either going to Helena, Missoula, Bozeman. Like nothing happens in Powell County.
So you've never had a meal in Helena, Missoula, or Bozeman?
Exactly.
God, you must be hungry on road trips.
Can we get T-shirts that say that? We can sell them. Don't jizz where you eat. I like that one.
Dude, never jizz where you eat. My mom ain't got to know I got a C- dick game. Like that's unnecessary.
But I mean, is it worth, like, do you try it? If you do, is it really hard, or?
No, like it's not hard. It's literally like, instead of Pat saying, hey, want to fuck? Like you say something like, hey, what's up? then you just kind of like let the conversation go where it goes, and next thing you know, you're eating, chicken and Helena and fucking in the backyard. Like,
I've never heard of eating pussy referred to as eating chicken. Oh, I better behave.
I'll tell you what, this younger generation, I just cannot keep up with their lingo.
Well, like, I want to tell Pat to ask someone what's the move. I just want to see how a single mother or two reacts to what's the move.
What's the
like,
move?
If you go anywhere and just like hit a girl up and say what's the move, and they respond, like, you're going somewhere.
Oh, see, Mr. I'm not a line guy. Just dropped the biggest line I've ever heard.
I have never fucking heard of that. I have never once heard of that.
You're like twice my age. Of course, like,
what's the move?
Straight, like, you go to New Jersey, just hit someone up with like, what's the move, and you're gonna go like to a club somewhere.
That's all it is. What's the move?
I wish I was making that up, but it's happened. Like, I've made that work 4 times. Like, with what's the move.
Hey, Pat, message this to whoever that girl is you're texting right now.
Yeah.
Message, hey, what's the move? Don't jizz where you eat. I'm eating chicken in Helena.
Before you know it, we'll be walking down that aisle.
God.
That's why J Mark is the expert tonight.
What's
this guy's got game.
Yeah, game.
I'd probably open with, what was your favorite episode of Doug? Really. There's one thing I know about ladies. It's that Doug really moistens things up. Jesus, I'm sorry, that was gross.
It's all that patty mayonnaise.
So what's the move?
Shit.
Let me try that right now with her. What's the move?
Okay, come on. How old is this person you're talking to?
I don't. She's still in high school. Oh.
That's where I met my wife.
Now, to be fair, you met her in junior high.
Okay, so like, since she's so much younger, I think Kelly should be the expert here on how to pick up chicks 25 years younger than you.
You just said get drunk at a bar and do it.
There's a guy. Fuck. So sidebar. There's a guy I work with. That's his thing. He goes to bars and get completely shit faced, just so he can muster up the courage to talk to girls. And it's hilarious because every girl he hits on a deer lodge, like, I've known since we're kids.
Oh,
so
God.
I'll get all the stories and shit, and it's fucking hysterical. Some of the shit he like tries to do. This man's in his 30s, and he like follow like 20-year-olds to a house party. Then like can't drink with them. Oh yeah, there's some hilarious shit.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like Jim Tilley.
Is it Jim Tilley?
Is it Jim Tilley you're talking
about? My favorite part before any episode, Pat goes, "Oh yeah, we're not going to name drop anyone."
No.
Like 25 minutes in, we already got like Jen Persons little name drop. Then we got a Jim Tilley name drop.
Well, to be fair, no one said that first name. You said it. So I think that's something we should all kind of take under consideration.
In my defense, flashback to like episode 3 where Pat and Marianne both said it. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. This thing's fucking addicting. So that's why I'm not on Tinder anymore. Swipe. You can swipe all fucking day, man.
We've lost Pat's in the black Tinder hole now. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is exactly what dating's like now.
It's just Pat's just over here just going, yes, no, yes, no.
So
that's Tinder.
To recap, everybody so far learned that right at the bat saying kind of fuck your tits doesn't work, but you can go to what's the move and it lands at least 4 times 40 out of 10.
Hey, Stephen Curry hits a 3 40% of the time. That's all that matters.
So, J. Marsh, do you start with what's the move and then 2 messages later you get super dirty and inappropriate like Pat, or do you like let that bleed out a little longer?
So this is where like I'm not good. Like my sense of humor doesn't translate via text. So I need that first date to like put my humor in, and I know that. So I just gotta get myself to like face-to-face interaction.
Oh, this is a fun question. Where's your go-to first date?
Wherever they want to go.
Wow, what a gentleman.
That's where you start with. That's why you do what's the move, so they just tell you where they want to go.
Yeah, and then you just like you're there now. You're playing
And you know
baseball
where
now. Get it.
where Uncle Tony always wants to go? He wants to take the skim boat to Tuna Town.
Oh, jeez. There's not enough skim boats we could take to Tuna Town.
We should get Uncle Tony on here and be the next dating expert.
Seriously.
Honestly, he should be the special guest tonight.
He could be.
Here's J Marsh dating as a younger person, and here's Tony just absolutely oblivious to reality dating as an adult.
God.
Just full trumpet. You just gotta grab him by the pussy, bowling ball style, and stick it in there.
Oh man.
Okay.
You better put a triple X on this episode.
So J Marsh, so since you let them pick, what's the shittiest place you've gone on a date from one of these dating apps?
I think.
Oh damn, girl, meet me at Arby's.
Dude, honestly, you went to Carroll, right?
Yeah.
Shelly's in Helena like at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, what are you doing? That's thinking with the wrong head there, pal.
Bro, the chicken fried steak's good at 1 in the morning. I'm like, okay, if something doesn't happen, at least I get a good meal.
God.
So were you like, and so do you like go on the prowl for this? Or do you like, all right, it's Friday night, I'm gonna head over to Bozeman and just see what happens, see what the move is?
I'm not that creepy. It's more like it's set up like a couple days in advance. So I'm like, okay, I'll meet you there.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
so your radius on these dating apps is basically anyone in the 406 area code, and then it's just like I'll plan my weekend around that.
I have like an hour driving limit kind of thing. I'm not driving to Great Falls. Like that's just too far, you know? Like Helena, like Bonner, you know, gotta keep it reasonable.
Honor. Fuck
Bonner's your cutoff.
Who you fucking in Bonner?
Imagine if you moved it to Missoula. How many different options you'd have.
Hey, it sounds like J Marsh is pretty particular. I won't drive more than 100 miles. We're not going to date for more than 3 or 4 weeks. It's done.
Oh, no. Like, why that? Have you ever been like in a relationship, one of your 5 weekers, and you've been like, you know what? This might go somewhere, but I need to head to Bonner and see what else is out there.
Shit. About week 3, I'm like, I hate myself for being here already. I need to leave.
He's like, let's meet up at Subway in Bonner. We could do it in Deer Lodge, but I don't jizz where I eat.
You see her light up a Subway sandwich, just pouring on the jizz on it.
Oh my god!
That is not the comment I thought you
I don't think that's what Jerry Marsh meant by that.
It's like, no, it's exactly what I meant.
Semen on his actual food. He was talking about he doesn't fornicate in the city he lives in.
I like Pat's version better. I'm just there, dick in hand, her sandwich. She's going.
So your move is you go to Bonner, you get a Subway sandwich, you put your wiener inside the sandwich, and you look at her and you say, "What's the move?"
Flap rat toe looks thick.
Oh God.
I'm fascinated. Like J Marsh, there's so many questions. Well, are you just like dead set against relationships because you're young, or are you just like, I'm never getting married because I think it's the stupidest thing any man can do? Like, where do you land?
I figure I got 10 years before I really need to consider that. So,
good man. I waited till I was 52, man.
Okay, so drastic, but I'll wait a couple years.
All right, so I'm going to shift gears here and go off to a slightly different thing here. So we talk about dating apps and all these different things and long-term relationships and all this stuff. So what I've been researching the last couple of months is actually techniques pickup artists use. Sure, everybody's familiar with pickup artists, and they talk about all these different psychological techniques you can put on women inside like clubs, bars, whatever. Exactly how to get them to be attracted to, and I've read books on psychological terms and all these different techniques and stuff. It's really interesting stuff. really am going to save it all for Pittsburgh personally, because there's just not a whole lot of ways to do that right now, and it probably wouldn't matter what the fuck I say at the Montana bar.
So, like, are your techniques similar to the Bill Cosby method, or? I'm curious.
Oh, real classy, J Mark. Real classy.
Okay,
This is a family podcast.
Okay, I'll clean it up a little bit. Are your methods similar to the Cardi B method? And are you guys all too old for that too?
No, I know the Cardi B stuff. That's
Yeah. And now, Pat, when you say Bill Cosby, do you mean the pickup line? Oh, let me put my pudding in your pop. I guess it'd be my pop in your pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding pop.
It's just crazy though, because these techniques this book came out a long time ago, but they went, yeah. So they had, the movie Fight Club.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it, right?
Yeah. They had
number one rule of the book. Don't talk about dating book.
There are no rules. They weren't talking about their techniques to the girls they're trying to hook up with, but they had called Project Hollywood, and they would go to the place, get a big mansion or whatever, a house, everybody, and their entire purpose there was to go and try to hook up with all these women at these clubs and stuff. And they use all these fucking techniques. So they just like memorize the fucking game to a T. So it's like the mechanics that stay within a woman's mind, everything. They just, if you work them right, you can pretty much, I'm not saying you can hook up with anybody, but if you can hook up with a lot of fucking people just using these techniques they used. So, I mean, J-Mart, so has anybody here just picked up a girl at a bar? No Tinder, no calling, no really knowledge of them before, nothing?
A lot of my early years was in like college courses. Like in class, just bullshit with the person next to you. That's a lot of my early shit.
One night stands, if that's what you're kind of referring to. I can't think of like specifics, but I know, I've met somebody and we've went home together, or, on who knows how many occasions, but yeah, obviously that's possible. And obviously there's something energetic and intriguing about that, because I think it happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, well, the problem is, one of the things I've learned in these books, stuff, but the actual professionals actually do that for a living, is the reverse psychology. Like, obviously none of us here are professional pickup artists, or anywhere close to it.
How do you do that for a living? How do you make money? Like, there's no.
Do this for a living.
I got this. You develop a theory, then you sell to people like Pat. It's
yes.
a simple pyramid scheme. I guess,
except I downloaded it illegally.
Big brain time.
So, do you guys want to hear the techniques?
I'm curious, because it sounds like almost like hypnotism. Like,
yes.
You will fuck me tonight.
All right. So I'll give it, because I know fucking anybody who's watching this or anything probably has never read these books at all. So,
fair guess. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, would you say that's a pretty fair guess? So part of the thing is, these first ones I'm going to talk about. You're going into a club or whatever, and you're trying to hook up a club, a bar, or whatever, a public setting, trying to pick up someone. And the biggest thing they say is, you want to first pick your target. Who's the girl you want to hook up with? And she's usually hanging around with a bunch of friends, guy friends, whatever. So the number one thing you want to do is you go up to her and you completely and absolutely fucking ignore her, and you talk to every one of her friends except for her. So she's like intentionally getting ignored, right? And then eventually, after you talk to all their friends, you give their friends compliments or whatever, and then you give her what's called a neg. Do you know what a neg is?
A negative, I'm going to guess, like a put down.
It's not. It's kind of a put down. It's like how you say a backhanded compliment. Oh, nice earrings. I heard they're really popular in the 80s. Like something like that. So it's not like a slam. You're not like, oh, it looks like you have a fucking ugly face, bitch. She's the last person you talk to, the one you actually want to hook up with, and you start out by giving her a neg, and then she's basically the techniques they use, and they're really effective, is you have to lower their self-esteem so they'll fuck you.
That sounds not ideal. Sounds like.
So that's how you hear these things like girls always hook up with assholes or whatever. It's because their self-esteem gets lowered to the thing. They're like, oh, well, I have to beat this guy, feel adequate or whatever. So That's where it starts out with, and I haven't gotten to the techniques deeper than that. It involves you kind of do some bizarre magic tricks, and it just gets weird. I never got that far into it, but I think the reverse psychology of it's fucking hilarious. They say the number 2 things you don't do when you try to hook up with a girl at a bar. You know what they are? Number 1, never buy her a drink or offer to buy her a drink. Number 2, never say that she's pretty. Because every single fucking girl out there, every guy that's trying to hook up with her, is so obvious. They'll go up and they're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're so pretty." She's heard that like 5,000 times. So how the fuck is that going to work? Then if you buy her a drink, it also signals that a red siren. Always buy me a drink because he wants to hook up with me. So the psychology isn't so much. So if you really think about it, it's like do the opposite of what everybody else does, and that's how you kind of stand out. And the other part is you have to dress up like a clown, pretty much.
I remember there was like an MTV series about with like some pickup artist guy like forever ago, like 10, 15 years ago.
That's the guy I'm talking about. Yeah.
Like Mystique or Mysterio. Or
Mystery was his name. He dressed like a fucking freak, but the guy could lay more pussy than you could ever imagine.
I feel like we should probably do a quick, like, where is Mystery now? He feels like a guy who's probably in jail. Right? Like, he feels like
he's actually in his 40s. He relaunched his new program lately. Been following him online, actually.
Good. I'm glad he's not in prison. Sounds like maybe he might. He's probably got an STD at the very worst.
Well, has anybody ever heard of Coach Corey Wayne? Has anybody ever heard of that guy?
God, I think I get his shit in my fucking email all the time or something.
It's kind of the same type of thing that Pat's talking about. It's not so like, here's step 1, here's step 2. It's more just like, hey, people like it when you're this way. And we all know that people like mysterious people. So the more you can do that and not give away your fucking poker hand, not go up and go, hey, look, I got a royal flush here. Be mysterious. Like, who is this guy? What's this guy all about? Or even females too. The mysterious females are more attractive as well. But Corey Wayne gives a lot of great advice, I should say. And I listened to him for like 2 years straight because I was, again, in a dark place. I'm like, how do you like, get over like trying to impress people, and be something other than yourself. And it's as simple as just fucking being yourself. That's what it boils down to. But he's really brilliant, and I recommend him for anybody out there. Coach Corey Wayne that might need a few tips or whatever. He's just very inspirational.
Yeah, I gotta check him out. I'm looking more for this guy. His name's Ross Jeffries. His program's called Speed Seduction: How to Get a Girl into Bed Within 19 Minutes. That's kind of more my alley.
I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
Seriously. Talk about polar opposites of the spectrum. If you're looking for a little self-help about being yourself, or I'm actually looking to get a girl in bed.
I'm trying to get a girl in my bed and out of my bed 35 minutes top.
I'm having trouble with the getting them out of the bed part.
I want this to be done before an episode of The Simpsons is
Oh, fuck. That's hilarious. Well, people can't blame this podcast or point fingers at us for not being unique, because like you guys know, I'm trying to listen to every episode, and they're all so drastically different. I mean, you guys know the subjects we talk about, and this one has nothing to do with any fucking thing we've ever talked about.
Not at all. Two of the people on this podcast are married. One for like almost as long as I've been alive, damn
it. You're only 2 weeks old. I'm not.
You were 14 days? Damn.
Man, you should have seen me in my heyday, though. I was nervous.
If we still
around girls. Couldn't have been more nervous. Couldn't have been more awkward. No, I swept my wife off her feet.
If we still have like followers or our trajectory still going up after Stewie Jewell and Aliens and then this fucking podcast, we know we're on to something here, boys.
Talk about being mysterious and stuff, that's the whole reason for this podcast. We should really just change this to the Prison Pussy Podcast.
Is this part of your long game to try and get girls?
I hope they're all watching this right now. Hey, I hope they're all watching this right now so I can go Subway, make them a dick sandwich, and say, "What's your move?"
No, what's the move? Not what's your move?
Oh, what's the move? Man, I should I gotta ask my wife when she gets back from work. Hey, what's the move? And she'll be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" What do you mean,
Get
what's
the
the
fuck
move?
away from me.
Yeah.
The move is you sleeping on the couch because you snore like a fat fucking banshee. That's the move.
Hey, a little bit of a side note, but I spit my chew in the toilet a couple minutes ago, and it looks like I took a deuce.
Oh,
Nice.
So, anyways, will that get me laid in 19 minutes?
Oh,
Oh shit! Good times, boys.
forgot.
fuck! I thought you were on a porch and you've been in the bathroom this entire time. Every time your phone goes blank, you've been taking a shit.
Yes, it's a small hotel room, Jay Marsh.
You know where the worst place to get dating advice is from? If you're a guy, anybody know?
The internet?
That 4 strangers that you don't know on a podcast.
No, I would take our advice in this podcast over this. The worst place for a guy to get advice on dating is a woman, because she will tell you all the wrong shit, 100% guarantee. She will tell you her version of a perfect man, which is just be yourself, be a better version of yourself, and that will get you to the promised land. No, it fucking won't.
Is that what Mary Ann told you?
No, I watched this all women show with this Ross Jeffries guy tried to explain to a bunch of women how he could get laid in 19 minutes, and they just went off on him. It was pretty entertaining.
Do you
Oh,
think
shit.
he ended up taking any of those girls home at the end of that? Like, it's the
No.
ultimate test of his technique.
Well, one of the best pieces of advice that I've heard, and speaking with my wife and any other female that I might know, they say that women are just as horny. They're looking for what you want just as much as you are. But guys, we're like fucking puppy dogs, just humping someone's leg. Oh, yeah, let's do it now. If we just calm down, they want what we want just as bad. So if you know that, it's not really a challenge. Guys just need to kind of settle down into the groove, into the mood, and let things happen.
I just like you gotta get in the groove, you gotta get in the mood, you gotta just roll with it, bud.
But that's where like the speed seduction thing comes into place, is women want to be seduced. So just going up and being straight up your normal self isn't going to fucking work most of the time, because they actually want to be a game, they want to be seduced, they want to be mysterious. So the puppy dog approach is like the thing I fucking hate most than anything, and like so many people do it. I try not to do it. Well, I almost never do it myself. I don't really give a fuck. I usually break it off within the first 2 words I say to her. But
wanna fuck?
Yeah.
Seriously.
That has worked 0.2% of the time for me.
At least it's worked.
I'm very not surprised by that average that you have.
But we have a friend that has mastered the puppy dog approach. I think we all know his name. We won't say his full name. We'll just do his fake name, Janel.
Oh,
You can puppy dog in Montana, and you can make it work because there's so few options. But if you did that in like a fucking club or something, she'd be like, "What the fuck, is this guy retarded or something?"
Yeah.
so
I sorry, go ahead, Mahoney.
I was just gonna say, is your version of puppy dog just like being extra lovey-dovey? Is that what you're talking about? Like,
Just
or are you
like
talking about like, because I think Kelly's version is just like, man, I'm so horny, I'm gonna hump this table, like that's
it's. I talk about like you follow her around everywhere she goes. You try to interact with her. You text her 24/7. It's just like, and it puts. Well, the problem is that it puts her as a prize and you as the chaser. And then if you're chasing, you're never going to catch up to the fucking ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Like a puppy dog, you're never going to catch up to the ice cream truck when you're chasing.
Most guys that I know, including all of us, I don't know about Jay Marsh, but most guys I know have been in that puppy dog phase of their lives at one time or another. I know that I have, I'll admit to it. It never fucking works. And then when you get out of it, when you get older, I guess wiser, and you watch that happen, it's even more pathetic. You're like, how the fuck was I in those shoes once? Because this is sad,
It's weird. It's kind of weird, like the reverse psychology is some of the stuff I've been talking about, mystery and everything else. Is like the least fucks you give, the better position you are. One of the books I read says if you have a girl you have a huge crush on, you really, really want to be this girl like super bad, but you're super nervous around her. The advice they say is go out and fuck 20 random chicks, and then you'll come back and your confidence will be so high that you'll have a much better shot with her. But that's advice a woman would never give you.
You're right. That's not necessarily advice I would probably give you.
Go out and fuck 20 bitches, and then she'll probably marry you.
That's like the shittiest dating advice anyone can take.
Just do it right in front of her, too.
Make sure she knows. You're just slinging your dick all over town like a hot dog salesman.
You probably got chlamydia. She'll go for it. Trust me.
Gets him every time. Ain't it work 1,000 times?
Oh shit! This is getting whacked, man.
That whole theory is so fucking ridiculous.
But the mystery man uses it.
You're right. That's very true.
That's very true. Well, here's the thing: is anybody could get laid. Anybody can get laid. Male, female, gay, straight, doesn't matter. Anybody can get laid. Where it gets complicated is the standards thing, because the higher you put someone on a pedestal, or the more attractive or, longing you are for someone, the more that other people are going to be like that towards that person. So then it becomes a competition. You know what I mean? So it changes at every level. If you just want to get laid, you've already won just by being you. You can shit your fucking pants and blow your nose on her shirt, you'll get laid. But the next level up, it gets a little bit more difficult,
Is that advice you'd say was good? Shit your pants before her nose on it?
Hey, it worked for me once. I sneezed right in her face. I was like, what the fuck?
So far, I love the advice. One's of them shit your pants and sneeze in her face. The other ones just say, "What's the move?" Either way, you're going to go down the same path.
Yeah.
Just,
to be clear, I'm not giving that advice to anybody. I'm just saying, if you want to have sex, you can have sex right now. I mean, there's someone out there willing, but wait till you see her profile picture.
No, I add on to the desperation aspect of it. Like, if you're super fucking desperate, she can like read that. And she's like, "What the fuck?" That's what I'm saying. Like, women will tell you, be like, if you really like something really bad, just go up to her and tell you how you feel. 99% of chance that's not gonna fucking work, because she's like, I already have him. I don't have to chase him. I already have him. Told me exactly how he feels. I already know him. Well, it's gone. There was this book, 48 Laws of Power, and good old Uncle Stoney was talking about it. And this guy just ignored this girl, did all these moves, reverse psychology the entire time. They finally hooked up, and he told her exactly how he felt, and she fucking broke it off with him like immediately.
Yeah.
She just wants him to get digged down.
Yeah.
And that's why, sometimes you just got to get that post-nut clarity. Squeeze a round off, and then you're like, okay, maybe I should not be pursuing this person as hard as I am. You let that load out, and your head clears up, and you're like, wow, that was a stupid text I was about to send.
Yeah. Problem is, I don't usually let it clear up. I just send the text.
Yes, for people that don't know him, that's exactly what he does. I honestly don't. I don't know if he has post-nut clarity. I think he's still just like, all right, I'm just going to be more relaxed sending this garbage message.
I wonder how many miserable people out there see this podcast and go, I need relationship advice. What the fuck? I don't even know what to take from this.
Should I go out and fuck 20 chicks
and then shit my pants
and then put my dick in a Subway sandwich?
and I can't get in relationships. I have to drive at least 100 miles.
I can't date. They're about to blow their fucking brains out right now.
None of this makes
I
any
guess
sense.
the point is, folks, if you're listening still, we don't fucking know. Good night.
You might as well not even try, is what we're saying.
I can't imagine anyone who's actually listened to all the episodes has been like, oh, I can't wait to hear their advice on dating.
Two of us are married. One's divorced. Jay Marsh has to drive to fucking Italy to get laid. Why are you listening to us?
Hey, Mark, it's got to be at least 3 counties away from him to even talk to him.
And then there's a 1 to 4 or 5 week limit on getting laid.
Got a 2-week window. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I move on.
But
yeah, Jay Marsh proposes after week 4. Week 5, he's checking his watch. Oh shit!
Oh no!
Goodbye.
I can say at least he has standards he goes by.
Yeah, it's true.
I
Better
mean,
than most.
Look, don't hate my rules, man. They work. All right. So I sent this to Pat earlier this week, but BBC, the British Broadcasting Network. So in England and Scotland, they finally allowed like meeting people outdoors. So the one thing is like sex and COVID. What are the rules? First bold headline is your best sexual partner is yourself. So Patrick, your best sexual partner is yourself.
And it has been for a straight year now.
And Pat, I'm here to tell you, I got a feeling you could get yourself to bed in under 19 minutes.
Just out in 19 minutes.
Good. Jay Marsh, why did you read that? Because now I totally want to shift it to COVID, but we're not going there again.
No, it just cracked me up. I opened it up and it's like the first bold headline. I just put it to the group chat. The best sexual partner is yourself or someone in your household. It just cracked me the fuck up. I'm like, that's such like a bland, like, okay, everyone just go jack off. Like, fuck.
So,
Yeah.
Jay Marsh, speaking of that, you said you had a pretty hard rule that, you don't, do that where you eat. So do you have to drive out of the city to masturbate as well?
No, just Kelly's bathroom.
Kelly's bathroom.
Switzerland, it's neutral.
Can I eat your chicken? That's your pickup line.
Can I eat your chicken?
What's the move? I heard we're having KFC tonight.
My dick in the bowl.
Oh. So guys, I'm gonna go down one maybe a little bit different of dating method I'm gonna try here starting soon. So I'm gonna call this it's called the Ted Bundy Method. And basically what you do is just knock her in the back of the head and throw her in her car and you're good to go.
I hope your buddy from Alaska's watching.
Oh, God. That was a meme. That was a meme I actually posted on Facebook a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Remember that? Yeah.
We talked about that like episode 2 or 3, if you remember.
I had some people that were super fucking offended by that.
Yeah, one of the Enigma episodes that was mentioned.
And we can make jokes or whatever on this podcast, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, is that too racy? Is that too far? But you know what? I remember watching Howard Stern, listening to Howard Stern back in high school and early college, and sometimes he would ask questions or just the whole episode. I was like, fuck, man, this guy just doesn't give a shit what he says or puts out there. So I mean, if Howard Stern can do it, then a white, 59-year-old or whatever, then I think we're fine. Anyways, just a thought that jumped to my head listening to the podcast across this road trip.
Yeah, and I wasn't ready for the Ted Bundy joke. I should have been. I don't know. It caught me off guard. That's all. Not too many.
Well, that's a funny joke.
I feel pretty confident in saying this, that we are the only podcast that has made that joke. Probably and there's a lot of podcasts out there. So a lot of them. What you doing, Jay Marsh? Checking out the latest Tinder profiles in Bonner?
Hey, I'm trying to get some good pickup line. Hey, I know some people to get around, so I'm trying to find some good pickup lines for Pat.
Oh God.
Give me a minute. Yeah.
Pat, have you heard what the move is yet?
Yeah. Yeah, give me some pickup lines. Yeah, what's God,
there's one. The one that popped up is God, I'd love to mac on those tits.
what?
That sounds like something he would say anyway.
I've already said that stuff before. This
So, Mahoney, I know this is dating in 2021, but maybe you could share something, and maybe I could share something about, like, you know, you managed to get married, which I know is a lot of people's dream out there for some reason. So what's your advice on that? Like, how did you manage to tie the knot there?
Honestly, it was more of I finally found someone that would put up with my nonsense more than anything, right? Like someone who enjoyed my bullshit, my weird sense of humor. I think that was the biggest thing. Is I talked about when I was dating early, I was always just awkward and nervous, and I think probably all four of us would say one of our best traits that women tell us about, other than, you know, our ugly looks, is our sense of humor. So finally, once you can like be yourself around somebody, and that's when I was first dating, I tried, all right, let's try a couple risky jokes and just see where this is at. Because in college, you tend to like not give as much of a shit, which probably is why most people find someone they're going to marry in college, because you become less consumed with worrying about shit. So I don't know. It was, for me, it didn't take long. I think us Montana boys maybe fall in love quickly. So for me, it didn't take long. I was like, hey, someone finally doesn't think I'm a terrible pile of shit. Well, she didn't then. She for sure does now, but it's like she's in too deep. You know?
That's hilarious.
So I don't know. It's obviously, we dated for a long time before, dated for 5 years before I proposed. So it's not like,
oh wow.
I definitely, I recommend that. That's much more of a modern dating thing of like, don't live together before you get married. That old school nonsense. Like I equate it to, you're going to want to test the car out before you buy it, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna want to live with them to be like, oh, so they fucking brush their teeth like an asshole, or they chew like a prick, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they have these idiosyncrasies that drive you fucking nuts, and that's why maybe J Marsh can't get past 5 weeks, because it's like, oh, someone's putting clothes in my closet.
My sweatshirts go there. Get them down.
So that's what I would recommend. Like, obviously, don't like force a move in, but if you think it's going to be serious, move in with them so you can really see, like, oh, so no, I don't actually want this at all. This was just fun when we were going out and having drinks and doing what adults do at nighttime. Now that I'm around them all the time, this kind of sucks. So
yeah,
check that out.
I just want to follow up with a lot of Mahoney is saying there, and I just think, you know, if you can't get it done within 19 minutes, then you probably want to move on. Right?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I knew from the first 18 minutes. I was like, I'm going to marry this girl for sure.
Where did you guys meet again?
Carroll College. Lovely Helena. It sounds like you've frequented there for your dating trips.
Yeah, Sherry's restaurant. He eats a lot of J Marsh chicken fried steak, is what they call it now. He goes there so much.
Oh, yeah, it's like Cheers. He walks in. The usual?
The usual? Serve him up.
Your date's like, oh, I'm not the first. And then 4.5 weeks later, you kick her to the curb.
4.5 weeks later, they walk into Sherry's. They're like, the usual. J Marsh is behind her going,
This is the same one. This is the same one.
We're done. Time's up, bitch. That's how he breaks up with her.
Time's up, bitch. Jeez.
Throw outside and hold the door shut. No, mine.
So J Marsh, what do you like? What's the cutoff when they're like, oh, so like, tell me about your family? You're like, okay, so thank you so much. Our time is. This has been really.
That's all the time we have for the interview.
Just game show. And that's all tonight, folks.
Thanks so much. I'm going to need you to lose that phone number because I'm never going to answer it again.
Once again, Snapchat, no phones. So much better.
Oh, Snapchat. So
Snapchats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't want those receipts?
Nothing. It's gone in a week. It's gone in a day. That's perfect. No screenshots. I know if you screenshot something, if I screenshot something, it's perfect.
Okay. So you're a modern young man. Where do you stand on sexting, Jay Marsh?
Jeez.
What happens on Snapchat stays on Snapchat. That's why it's the perfect device.
So would you say that's like you send a few just before you go and have chicken fried steak, or that's like, your whole setup is, I've just got so many questions. I could go on for days.
Do everything. You get Snapchats. We talk for a little bit. Go a date somewhere. Like nothing happens on the first date. I do not press anything. Right? Does that make sense?
What a gentleman.
No, straight up. Don't press. Let them control the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then date number 2, maybe you do a nice country drive. Then there you go. You're in the middle of nowhere, beautiful sunset, just railing a chick off a park bench. It's the perfect game plan.
Is that where you Ted Bundy are on that country drive?
I was gonna say, like, in my head, I was thinking, like, boy, this girl must trust you a lot on the second date to let you go out on a country drive. Kidding me? That's as the father of a daughter. That's gonna be if he wants to go on a drive in the country, fucking no.
Once again,
jump out of the car, evacuate immediately.
Here's a big thing. Once again, it's not like my idea. I set it up to where like their idea if they want to come visit, so we go to a country drive to a different county where I cannot do stuff. And it's simple. or and since you're a father of a daughter, people like me are going to be in your basement railing your daughter when she's like in college. So,
hey, Jay Marsh, do you ever need to jizz so bad while you're in Powell County, but you're on a country drive? You got to hold it in so you don't jizz where you eat. And then you hit like Granite County, you just explode your pants. Oh, thank God.
And actually, here's a question too, because I know you're pretty particular. Do you have to like, when you go out of Powell County and then you get into Deer Lodge County, you're like, nope, still not here.
Not Powell County, we're good.
Yes.
Shit.
Once again, you think it's a crazy rule, but once again, I have no awkward interactions because everyone is out of the county. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a beautiful rule.
What do you say when they're like, man, can we just like, can I come down to your place? What's your like? How do you say no? Like, no, I really like it's getting fumigated. There's 3 dead bodies in my building.
My neighbors are really weird and they're loud, so no, you don't like it. Thin walls doesn't count.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be the girl. Like, oh, I don't mind. I just want to come see. Like, I want to see Deer Lodge. See what it's all about.
Cool. Hey, what time do you feel like coming over? You're going to stay like, how about early morning? I'll be like, cool. Then like we do a drive and send you on the home in the evening. So when in doubt, drive or their parents' basement. It is simple.
That's how you know you're still pretty young when you're talking about the parents' basement.
Once again, there's a
place of their own.
So when I was at Carroll, there's a lot of like Catholic girls. Like once again, I went to Carroll for the wrong reasons. Football and Catholic girls. That was it. So like a lot of like they're still living at home in Helena, and I would just be like, walk upstairs, meet the dad, go, how you doing, sir? Then downstairs, just like fucking the daughter. Like that's like the amount of times that's happened is surprising to me because I'm like, once again, when I play football, it's like 6'2", 270. Like I was a big dude, and it's just like not once there was a dad like, oh, you and my daughter downstairs? No, like it was like, okay, cool, nice to meet you, man. Then just like 5 hours later, awkwardly walk out.
So the dad thought you were gonna beat him up or something if he wouldn't let you fuck his daughter.
Like every time, it's just like not one was a guy like, no. How about you sit right here and rewatch some TV for a minute? Not once.
I think, and I don't know this, but I'm gonna guess if that's kind of what was the plan with that girl that was doing that. The dad's the dad's probably so used to seeing just like random guys come into the basement. He's just like so numb to it now.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he just drinks himself to sleep every night. And
Dude,
imagines that doesn't happen.
I'm not going to lie. I have an itch. Absolutely. I have an itch. And yes, and like, were her siblings upstairs? Yes, but that's not the point. The point is I was focused on her.
Man, you are
So
you are just a 21st century Casanova, aren't you?
Dude, every time I always feel weird when they're like their little siblings there, and I'm like, what did I just walk into? Like, this is weird. Like, pile of clothes on the floor, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I gotta quit doing this every time. We're watching Netflix and she on the like her Xbox that she stole from her ex-boyfriend. And it's like, nice, fun times.
That sounds like my nightmare, J Marsh. That sounds really fun.
Okay, so you know what not to do? Don't force your kids to be Catholic. That's literally step one.
J Marsh, how much Pink Whitney have you had tonight? The Golden Gate Bridge looks like it'd be a fun pillow.
Sadly, none. I've been drinking beer and I could do this all day. So
All day.
all day.
Just like going into random basements of people and could do
Yeah,
this all day.
What's the worst that happens? I have to escape out the window? I'm athletic. I can make this happen.
God.
Oh fuck yeah,
Wow.
dude! We totally need to get Uncle Tony on here one of these.
Oh
one of
my
these
God.
dating or any podcast for that matter. He's a smart, funny motherfucker.
His relationship stuff is fucking hilarious. His stories you could tell, and just what Tony's funny because Tony will tell these stories and stuff and these pieces of advice, except he will never actually follow the pieces of advice he actually gives you. He'll like tell them to him, but he'll never actually like follow through on them or anything. So it's just kind of interesting. But yeah, this has been a very entertaining show so far.
Just ridiculous. How many wagons do we need to circle at this point?
Do we have a lot of wagons to circle?
Let's lasso up the pigeons.
Yeah. Is this so the thing is funny though is I don't think we've actually gone off topic this show.
No,
There's
that's
a lot of content.
yeah, that's what happens when your host is stone cold sober. Things.
But so I just have just a
That way I'm
question.
not sleeping 45 minutes in. That also makes a difference.
I have a question for Mahoney really quick. You know, I got divorced this past year, and I just got to wonder to you, what role did the Montana State Prison not letting us film Enigma on state prison land have in my divorce? Would you say?
I'd say, and like this is from an outsider because I didn't get a chance to really read the proceedings in the papers, but I'd say like 96% it played. Like, had that never happened, you'd probably still be married. You'd probably, who knows, probably have another kid on the way. You'd probably be as happy as you'd ever be. Probably be living in California because that movie would have made us like super duper stars. So,
So yeah. Once again, folks, you don't know Enigma. If you're just tuning in, Enigma is a horror film. It was possibly the best horror film that was not fully made, and there was a lot of reasons for that. And basically, my life has never been the same since.
yep.
That was the downfall of all this for Pat. Was just Enigma not going to how he wanted it to. Ever since then, it's just been like this.
But think, Pat, had that not happened, you wouldn't know about all these like super creepy pickup things and then the 19-minute guy. Like your life is more rich now because of that experience.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait till 19 minutes some random guy. No.
Honestly, man, whatever makes you happy. I'm not here to-
Once again, I'm here to support the LGBT community. Right here, the big old Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh yeah, you're all supporters now. Wait till you get him off the mic. I try to make things as awkward as possible.
Once again, someone else who has a lot more to lose than myself was the one that went that route. So,
all right. So,
Logo, yes, but it's there.
do we have any more dating stories or anything? Are we ready to wrap this episode up? I thought we went pretty. I'm still on Tinder. She hasn't responded back to me, but that's the best thing about Tinder is like they take fucking forever to respond because they're probably just like me, where they're like get on for like a month or so, then like, okay, this is a waste of time. So they get off, then they match with somebody and they get back on like 3 months later. I think
this could be our reoccurring thing. Basically, we could have Pat check in with someone on Tinder every episode and just see like how it's going. Like, what's the move?
What's the move?
And we could check in with Jay Marsh every 3 weeks on his relationships. If it's longer than that, it's over.
If you ever see me like panicking, you know I've gone too far.
Oh man, this is about to be a month and a half. Get him out!
Someone shoot me already.
Is your man bun gone? I can't fully see what you got going.
Oh yeah, no, I cut it all off.
Oh my god, man! And that was that way last week.
Yeah.
Oh wow, we were fucking drunk last week.
He was also on the floor most of the episode.
Well, the background kind of like cuts your hair off a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No, like that. Granted, when I was on the floor, I drank like a bottle and a half of vodka in like an hour or 5. Like the first bottle was gone. 5 minutes into the podcast with Stewie, gone, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not gonna remember any of this shit.
What? Were you heartbroken over your month-long relationship?
I was sober for a week, so like the day of like your wedding, I went to a funeral from like a high school friend.
Oh,
so I was just like sober through the whole thing, and like that night, I'm like, fuck it, I'm binging. Let's do this.
Oh,
and then I just,
shit.
Yeah. Then I woke up the next day, 3:30, still where I podcast from, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? Oh shit, I never left. Found it. I'm like,
well, it's a memory that none of us will ever forget because it's on record.
Yeah. We can always check in.
I didn't pass out during the podcast. Oh, really, motherfucker? Let's pull up 2021.
Dude, 100%. I died.
Or whatever.
I died about aliens. I don't know what. The aliens killed me. That was it.
Sadly, I'm really excited to hear that episode because I thought it was a really fucking good episode. I don't remember what it was about, but I remember it was interesting. It got heated. It got weird. You passed out. It might be our best episode yet.
Oh, for sure. It's a 10 of 10.
On this podcast, I'm the one that brings like t-shirt material. Oh, he's dead on the floor. And also, I don't jizz where I eat. You know what I mean?
We need t-shirts. Folks, $21.99. I don't jizz where I eat. We don't have them made yet, but we'll make them if you order a couple.
20
official t-shirt.
We could get you some embroidered hats. Like, let us know if you want fitted, flex fit, or adjustable, and we will have those in kid sizes as well.
And we also do ones that say "Make your move" or whatever the fuck that was.
What's the move?
What's the move? What's the move?
Yeah. I need to hear him say, "What's the move?" Go into your parents' basement. Yeah.
Eat some chicken dinner.
Oh shit! I mean, once again, just for Pat's sake, don't say "What's the move" on Hinge. That's not going to work. You're not going to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Tinder, yes, big difference.
Oh,
I'm writing notes.
What's the move?
You ready for your divorce already? I was with this bitch for 10 days. I'm done.
Do these things work for married men on their wives?
Let me know if I'm going to have to, in 10 years, if I'm going to have to change up my whole game plan. Just Kelly going, "Hey, honey, what's the move?" Nothing. Okay, got to scratch that one out and start from the ground.
We're eating Papa John's in bed. She starts rubbing my leg. I don't jizz where I eat.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit. Well, is that it, guys? I think that's all we got.
Good. That was good.
Yeah,
that was a good, hard, like just awkward, dead silence. I think we're ready for it.
Yeah. I think I'm ready to rock and roll. I got to get up early, as I said, here in Miami. But this has been fun. I think we stuck to the topic the whole time. And hour 15, hour 20, I think that was good.
Yeah, I think it's a good episode.
Go ask your wife what's the move when you get out of the bathroom. That's marriage for you. You spend an hour and a half in the bathroom and then go talk to your wife. "Hey, sweetie, what's the move?"
I've been on my phone for an hour and a half on the shitter.
All right,
We'll find out.
let's wrap this up. Then we'll go first with Mahoney. Your final words on dating in 2021 and your dating advice for everybody.
Absolutely. Thanks to everyone who stuck with us. I honestly have no idea how you're still listening after all these episodes and all this nonsense. So apparently you like it. Tell your friends. And honestly, this is my one piece of advice that I'll give to people is you can date within your own city. I promise, like, nothing bad will happen. You can go out with girls. They don't have to be from a long way away. Like, think of all the money you're going to save on gas and shitty chicken fried steak.
And Kelly, your last words of advice?
Man, I basically got to defer to Jay Marsh. I've been out of the dating scene for so fucking long now. I don't even know what to say. He said a couple good things tonight. I would definitely say check out Coach Corey Wayne online. In all seriousness, if you need some advice or some encouragement or whatever, he really was awesome for me for a couple of years. So check him out. And I know it's disagreeable, or we disagreed on it a little bit, but honestly, just go out there and fucking be yourself. I really do believe that. Like, don't be a fake version of yourself. Just be yourself. Don't do tactics. Don't do rules. Don't do anything. Don't over try. Just fucking sit on your ass and be yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Jay Marsh.
All right. So to piggyback on Kelly, just like talk. Conversation's 95% of it, which I don't think a lot of people realize. Like, you just have to talk, and then let them talk, which is huge. So that I know a lot of people that don't understand that concept of you say something stupid, let them also say something stupid. So you guys are both in the stupid boat together. But other than that, tonight I'm sponsored by Highlander Beer. Last week it was Pink Whitney. Someone give me an alcohol sponsor. I will drink it every show. So it's been fun once again.
And Jay Marsh, the last thing I'll say is, so you're on the same boat, and now are you trying to take that boat to Tuna Town together, or?
Get Tony Major on the show, Pat.
All right. So I'm just going to wrap up everything we've talked about so far. Basically, my dating advice strategy would be 19 minutes or less. If you're trying to hook up with the girl of your life, make sure you fuck 20 other chicks before that. Always date at least 3 counties across the way. Never jizz where you eat unless it's at Subway. And make sure the relationship only lasts about 3 weeks. So there's your prime dating advice for 2021. Good luck to everybody out there with that. All right.
All right. Awesome show, fellers.
Gonna make a lot of happy people.